I'm Dru Stevenson. This is for my administrative law course. Here I'm going to be talking about one of the exemptions to the Freedom of Information Act, specifically exemption number 8 out of 9. And this pertains to government information about financial institutions. So let's dive in. Exemption 8 says that FOIA is inapplicable to information contained in or related to examination, operating, or condition reports prepared by, on behalf of, or for the use of an agency responsible for the regulation or supervision of financial institutions. When we talk about financial institutions, we're talking about banks and lenders, commercial lenders, and investment banks, and so forth. And there are a number of federal agencies that oversee our financial institutions, the Office of the Comptroller of Currency, the Federal Reserve Board, the FDIC, and so forth. So this exemption is really primarily for those agencies that regulate or oversee financial institutions. I'm going to give you an example of FOIA Exemption 8 in the courts. This is Public Investors Arbitration Bar Association versus the S.E.C. from 2014. And basically, the court held that records that had been collected by the Securities and Exchange Commission while they were examining the financial industry regulatory authorities, or FINRA's program for arbitrating disputes between securities brokers and their customers, fell within the scope of FOIA Exemption 8, regardless of the record's substance. I also have a district court example where the government invoked this exemption but failed or lost. The FDIC in 2017 unsuccessfully tried to invoke Exemption 8 in response to a FOIA request for all records related to the FDIC's decision to place a federally insured bank into receivership. And it also sought all the records of the FDIC's analysis of that bank's solvency. So for McKinley versus FDIC, you may be wondering, well, why wouldn't that fall under FOIA Exemption 8? But the problem was that the agency came into court and thought that they didn't have to answer any questions at all, that they didn't furnish basic threshold information about the nature of the documents that they wanted to withhold and not disclose in response to the FOIA request. They wouldn't say what kind of reports they were. And the court said, you can't do that. If you want to invoke Exemption 8, you need to tell me what these documents are so I can be satisfied that they actually fall under FOIA Exemption 8. And that concludes our brief, quick overview about FOIA Exemption 8. Thanks for watching.